Now I have our last presenter. Can I call Francis here, please?
Good evening. I'm the last presenter. So my name is Francis Talbot. I'm the CEO of VertoNova Analytical, a small startup company from New York City, with a big vision of redefining biodiagnostics. So we've all been to the doctor and at some point been asked to do a blood test. Nowadays, a simple blood test can require the measurement of up to 100 different molecules, anything from iron to glucose to cholesterol. Now, one issue with this test is that many of these molecules have to be tested individually. This is the reason why they have to take so much sample, and also why these tests require so much equipment to be performed. Another issue is that list, the number of things that can be tested in our blood, that's far too short. We can do better than that. I'm talking about things like the detection of pathogens in the blood, or the early onset of disease state. So we believe we can do better than that. What you want is a single instrument platform that can take a single drop of blood or any other biofluid, and that can tell you immediately everything that you want to know about the health status of your patient in just a few minutes. And there is already the best candidate technology out there, for that job, is a device called a mass spectrometer. These are extremely sensitive mass spec. These are extremely sensitive devices that are also very versatile, and that are already present in many research labs as well as hospitals. But the problem with the current technologies in mass spec is that they are not inherently quantitative. That is, they cannot tell you easily how much of a particular molecule there is in your sample. And because of that, they have had very little penetration in the area of diagnostic testing. So our objective at VertoNova is to provide mass spec users with an add-on module that can easily be connected to any existing mass spectrometer, and that will instantly grant full quantitative capabilities to that instrument. And using this module, which is protected by our IP, new discovery will be possible, and new tests will be developed. So, and when you compare our technology to the current state-of-the-art technologies that are currently being used in mass spec, you can immediately see that our technology is the only one out there that can provide both quantitation and multiplexing, which is the ability to detect many things at once. So, but of course, to make sure of our competitive advantage, we asked the experts. We conducted a series of interviews with experts from various local institutes in the field, and they have all attested of the strong competitive edge that our technology will have. So the market we are targeting right now is going to be the mass spec instrumentation market, which is a $3 billion market as of 2009. But within that market, there is a small $140 million segment that is specifically dedicated to clinical analysis. And this is where our competitive advantage is going to be the strongest, and this is what is going to be our entry point. So where we are right now, we have already obtained proof of principle validation of the technology by using our alpha prototype that's sitting in our lab. So our next step is going to build a prototype, a beta prototype that's going to be transportable, so that we can take it to the site of potential early adopters in order to test our technology by using their samples. And then in parallel with that, we will also try to seek to strike a strategic partnership with one or many established instrument manufacturers in order to give us a more rapid market share. The current team at VertoNova is made of composed of the scientists who have been developing this technology, as well as one business person as well. And in summary, VertoNova's objective, our vision, is to provide faster, cheaper, and better diagnostic by enabling a single instrument platform that can for single drop analysis. Thank you very much.
Francis, this is the first time I understand and get excited about a biotech pitch. Well done, really. I just have two comments for you that I think will make your pitch better, maybe, maybe not. The first is you in your competitive advantage slide, you also put the key leader, key market opinion, split those slides because they're two very powerful points. Here's how we stack up against competitors, and we've also validated with these key people two different concepts, right? So keep it easy for people to flow with you. The second point I have is your market size. I didn't understand. Is this Ontario? Is it Canada? Is it US?
It's worldwide.
It's worldwide. Okay. Okay. So just make that point clear, right? And that it's growing, which you do. And finally, third point actually is why wait for strategic partners until 2014? Maybe I don't understand the market. Maybe you have to wait. But just from my background, it's better to, if you got the validation, try to get the partners before. Until don't wait to get the strategic partners. That's my view. But well done, really well done.
Over to John.
So, very, very interesting. I'd like to talk to you after about the basis of the technology. We have some investments in mass spec, and so I want to understand about that. So some of the competitors might not be on your screen. The big challenge I have, and better, faster, cheaper. There are three things. One is the fee schedule for tests and how people get paid for doing tests. Number one. Number two, the distribution channel currently of analytical instruments and how you can overcome the current lock that the Baxters and Brookers and others have on some of those markets. Oh, I guess there's another one. So there's the benefit realization to the various organizations. How can they actually realize the benefit? And last is the workflow. You talk about a single drop of blood coming out of a patient. One of the reasons that they have large drops of blood is so that they can, if necessary, do reflexive testing or do other things later on, but also that they have patent samples by the time they get from the lab all the way down to the actual analytical instrument, et cetera, et cetera. Are you going to sample this in the room? Are you going to take a capillary sample? You know, there are lots of places that are doing point of care of taking a single drop of blood in a capillary tube, putting it on a smart card, yeah. And even those, like the workflow of what they do now versus what they would do with your device, has to be very, very carefully thought out, because one of the big challenges is if you fundamentally change that workflow, then your adoption is going to be really, really, really slow.
That's one thing that was concerning me.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm very interested to learn more. By the way, you should follow the Tricorder X Prize if you haven't been following it, because the concept of single drop of blood doing massive numbers of analytes in one single drop of blood, if they're successful, they could blow you out of the water. But I'm also interested in the lab market. You need to show your cost per test. So you need to actually show, this is what we pay now, this is what we pay then. An example, there are certain workflows where one of our companies has $11 per test versus $1 in the lab. And you think, oh God, they'll never win. But it's the business model, and it's how they do it, and it's the workflow that makes it worthwhile, because it levers doctors' time, it levers other things that makes that $1 versus $11 irrelevant. So you really need to look at that at the model of all the stakeholders and who wins and who loses and who controls the distribution channel.
Continuing from what John said, I would say before you develop this further, go and meet some of the labs and find out if they really want a single instrument technology can produce, because they are very concerned about protecting their domain. They get paid X dollars for iron and X dollars for glucose and X dollars for iodine. And if one test does all the three, they won't get paid 3 times. And they'll be concerned whether they will adopt an instrument. So they will fight tooth and nail, in my opinion, not to have this technology working, and find areas where this technology could fail and may not produce the right results. So you have to find a solution which helps them win rather than helps them lose.
Just to add to that as well, in this last slide, while the words are very compelling, quantifying them would be even more so, like 10 times cheaper, or whatever, 40 times faster, and so on and so forth. If you have those metrics, would be very compelling. Just Rush's point as well, if you do kind of face that type of battle with respect to, well, you know, this is going to be one test, you know, maybe it's a cheaper cost then to whoever buys it, and maybe it's a massive margin opportunity then for them to actually charge whatever it is that they want. There's maybe different ways to skin the cat over that.
That was definitely a good way of thinking about it, because if we can offer them that approach them and give them this module, and then this is transparent, this is completely transparent to their customers. They will never be aware of it. so that they will still be paying for all the 3 tests separately, but they will be doing it with one machine. Right.
The insurance industry and the OHIP or medical payer industry is not going to allow lab to charge 3 times for something they're going to do once.
Yep.
So you have to actually, your easy sell will be insurance industry. If insurance says, I will pay for test this method, each of the tests being reimbursed by insurance industry as well as by OHIP or any of the healthcare industry, the procedure is defined by the payer. Payer wants a test to be done by a certain method. Only the payer can change that procedure. So if you're going to change a procedure, you go to consult payer and have them adopt new procedure.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Excellent.